Okay, well, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are Greg and Mena Warmbier out of Sarasota, Florida. We are super excited to have everybody on here today to talk about this amazing, phenomenal technology. We are going to be talking about the product X39. I'm going to have Mena kind of kick it off because I got to send
Make me
someone,
co-host.
I got to make your co-host, yes.
Hi, everyone. So I see there's just a few of us on already. So if you have invited anybody to be on today, just make sure that you reach out to them, send them a text and tell them we're getting started.
Yeah.
We like to start on time. This is an opportunity meeting where we share the product and what it is doing for people, and we also share with people the opportunities. So if people are not interested in the opportunity aspect, they can jump off. And if they're interested in just getting the product information, that's great. Either way, we love to have people on. So just share the Zoom link with everyone, let them know we're getting started. And we don't want to waste anybody's time. We are not medical professionals, so we don't have a medical background, but in the 3 years, it's like 3 years already now, that we've been sharing, well, almost 3 years that we've been sharing this with people. And we have had testimonies, hundreds and thousands, and still on a daily basis, we get testimonies. I was speaking to a young lady the other day, and she said to me, she gave me a list of things. This has happened, this has happened, this has happened, this has happened. And she went down the list and she said, and guess what? 2 weeks ago, she's been on the product for 3 months. 2 weeks ago, she said, the issue I was having with my back is gone. She thought it wasn't going to go, but everything has now improved for her. So that is the reason why we do not stop sharing, because we don't know who that next person is going to be. We feel it is our social responsibility to share with absolutely everybody and get the word out, because we feel we'd be selfish if we prejudged and said, oh, well, they're pretty young, they don't look like they've got anything going on, and this is not for them. Who are we to make that decision for them? So we share with everyone that we encounter. Are you ready to share your
Yes,
screen?
yes, sorry. So what we're doing is we're going to get kicked off right now, but actually I've been just reaching out to some people, making sure they're jumping on as well. But we definitely recommend the same thing, share the information with them. But again, the part that we love about this product is, again, it is unique. It doesn't no one else in the world has it. We became brand partners specifically because I had a challenge where I had a car accident back in 2016 where it damaged my neck, my shoulder, my back. Someone plowed into the back of my car. Later on, I had a knee injury that affected my right hip. So I had 5 issues, and literally that affected me every single day. And my friend told me about this product, and I said, you know what? I'll try anything. Well, 3 days later, no issues with my knee, my hip, my shoulder, my neck, my back. I'm like, what in the world is this? How does this work? And everything changed from that day on. So I've literally had no issues for the past 2.5 years, almost 3 years now. It's amazing to be 3 years next month. And the part that we love about this is we're changing lives around the world. So the biggest question is, have you been patched yet? Because if you haven't been patched, we definitely want to get this product on you, because what it does is it elevates copper peptides, which activate stem cells and regenerates your body. And we're going to talk more about that. Mendip didn't really, she was very negative about it. But the one thing I did is I started doing research and spent hours doing research, and it hit me like a lightning bolt. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is real. This is real. I heard about David Schmidt. I researched him a little bit. Found out he's got over 200 patents. He's the CEO and inventor of X39, the founder of LifeWave. He's a scientist and inventor. I just was on a Zoom earlier today with a scientist, and he's like, the stuff works. It actually works. It's patented, everything else. And the one thing he started doing is he started specializing in age reversing. In 2008, he focused his attention on stem cell research, and this one product basically 10 years, $4.5 million to bring to market and basically to launch this product. Like I said, my wife was like, don't even think about it, I'm not interested. But then I showed her some of the information, and she saw the patent, and she started believing a little bit more.
Yeah, so I was extremely skeptical, wanted nothing to do with this. In fact, it took us quite a while because we were on vacation in July when we first heard about it. And we were like, oh boy, not another thing. and and then we heard from our good friend Ken and Diana Burke, and I said to Greg, oh my goodness, now they've got them. They've got them.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, Ken was persistent. He came and saw us. He brought Diana to the house, and they came in, and they kind of explained to us why it was important for us to at least give this a look. And for Greg, he listened, he was okay. And he said, look, I'm going to get the products and we're going to start sharing this. And I was still skeptical. But when I realized he was not moaning and groaning anymore, there's something about this. I've got to take a closer look at it. And I looked at the website, I saw this patent, and a lot of my colleagues this is where they practice, they register patents. And so I understand that you cannot have a patent on a product that isn't one of a kind. And also that you cannot make these factual statements like we see on this particular slide without proving that in fact these things happen. So, I looked at this and I said, oh my goodness, a legal document. And it says this particular paragraph, which we can all read: embodiments as a result of elevating copper peptide, including activation of stem cells, improvement in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvements in stamina, elevation of collagen production, improved wound healing. I saw these things and I said, oh my goodness, even if it just helps with, for me, was reduction in inflammation, which caught my attention, and elevation of collagen production, because I was taking collagen powders. And I thought to myself, okay, let's see what it does. So I didn't want to miss out on anything. And we then jumped in and decided we were going to share.
Yeah, and so we started sharing with people that we knew that had some challenges, but then we started sharing with people, again, that had some financial challenges too. But for me, the part that I never understood and why the patch is because stem cells start deactivating as you get older. So you, as a baby, you start growing and growing and growing. You get all these stem cells working for you. But then as you stop growing, the stem cells start going dormant. So by the time that you're 30, you have half the stem cell activity that you have when you're younger. And by the time you're 60, you get 5 to 10% maybe. And so the challenge that we tell people all the time is like, as you're aging, you start feeling the symptoms of aging. But what happens when you start reversing these and activating your stem cells? Your body starts acting younger. So I'm going to be 55 next month. I feel like I'm in my early 30s slipping into my 20s. And I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm trying to talk slow right now because the energy you get from this is unbelievable. It's actually phenomenal.
So how does X39 work? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy. So I know a lot of us have heard of light therapy. We understand that's similar. Patented nanocrystal technology. It reflects light and heat from our own body to activate it. It's not transdermal. There's no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants in it, and it's not invasive. So it's not putting anything into the body. And, for sake of compliance, we have to say that LifeWave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition.
Yeah. And so the way you kind of think about it, we live in the Sunshine State, so it's really sunny outside. If I could step outside, the rays of sun will hit our skin, which is our biggest organ, and elevate things in our body, like vitamin D, right? So what happens, everybody knows we get vitamin D from the sun, but the sun is not pushing out vitamin D. It's pushing out a frequency of light that interacts with our skin that elevates the things in our body. Well, that's what this does. So this patch, when you put it on, we emit light 24/7. So if I put night vision goggles on, we all kind of glow in the dark, right? Because we emit light. Well, the light basically hits the patch, reflects back in. We become the power source, so to say. That reflects back in and activates these copper peptides that activate our stem cells. Is absolutely brilliant. Oh, I took 10 years because the basically reflecting the right kind of light, which is pretty huge. But these are some of the benefits.
The benefits of X39, we've experienced everything on this. A lot of our friends that are using the product are telling us the same thing. Increased strength, reduce inflammation. That really is a big one. Increased stamina, energy, and vitality, mental clarity, restored muscle and skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep. And for me, that really was a big one. I'm so grateful that my sleep has improved. Improved skin appearance, achieving optimal health, a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being.
Yeah, and so the part that we talk about to people all the time is, once again, all these things we're talking about, we could have pages and pages of this, but they've done tons of case studies that show and prove what it can do.
Yeah, so this is a topography map. It's a scan of a 77-year-old woman's brain. David wanted to show inflammation in the brain. And session 1 is a scan of her brain where you see a lot of bright colors, orange, red, and yellows. And that's an indication of inflammation existing in the brain, meaning the stem cells in the brain are not really active, and there's a lot of inflammation happening. Lack of brain coherence could be PTSD, fear, anxiety, forgetfulness. Then he told the lady to participate by putting the patch, this little looks insignificant, but it does amazing things
Yeah.
at the back of her neck, and stay hydrated. So she was drinking good water with some electrolytes. And that's all she changed. 77-year-old woman, day in, day out, putting this on the back of her neck. And 3 weeks later, the scan of her brain indicates, like it does at session 2, and no more inflammation. All those bright colors are no longer there. And that means that the inflammation is detoxed, improved brain coherence. And session 3, which is only 6 weeks later, shows, like it does at session 3, 6 weeks later, complete turnaround, and there's definitely better brain coherence. Now, David said that if he had scanned, he just chose to scan her brain for this purpose. But if he had scanned every single organ in her body, it probably would have looked like the session 1 scan of her brain.
Yeah, and so it's amazing with the technology. So we always talk about the different case studies they've had. If you can go to thisisit.info.com, you can see a lot of the case studies that are there. And so on there, they talk about, once again, these different things that happen. Well, the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset to a younger, healthier state. So what really happens is that your body goes into basically a reboot. So which is amazing, because you think about your phone. You ever been on your phone, it locks up, or you're on your computer and you're like, why is this thing not working? What the heck is going on here, right? And it's not working. So what do? Do you keep on working with it, or do you reboot it? Well, your body goes into like this reboot. So basically like a third of the genes in your body start basically being reactivated, and everything changes there, which is pretty amazing. Now we talk about resveratrol, basically it's in red wine. And with red wine, basically it's got stuff in it that actually resets genes as well, but it resets 2 genes. This resets 4,000, a little bit different. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. Many just showed that the balance in the brain from the topography map. Also, in 3 months, your collagen levels increased 2, 3, 400% in a lot of case studies they've done. Within 6 months, your heart reverses aging. This is huge. All these different things. That's why David said this is not anti-aging; it's age reversing. That's a pretty bold statement, but he can prove it scientifically, and you feel it. We tell people we want you to experience this product. When you notice it, you'll go, wow, I feel completely different. Sometimes it's days, sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's months to do that. But overall, by using it, you're going to notice a massive difference.
So how do we wear the X39? The graphics show on the back of your neck or underneath your belly button. Those are hot spots where David actually did the testing when he was doing the clinical trials. And you wear it for 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and you preferably off at night. If you're sleeping at night, you want to repair and rejuvenate at night, so take it off. If you work night shift, you do the opposite way. Sorry, then throw the patch away, put a new patch on, and repeat. And you can wear more than one patch at a time. Not necessary, really, because one patch does it for, every day, using one new patch and then throwing it out. And drink plenty of water. Make sure your water has minerals. So
yes.
And add additional minerals like coconut water, like cucumber, Celtic salt. You want to make sure you're getting sufficient minerals with your water.
Absolutely. It makes a big difference with all the different things that you do. So another thing we talk about is the testimonials. And this is something that, again, we're just going to share a couple things with you today, but really it's a very sophisticated product, but it's very simple to explain. It's called Peel and Stick. I tell people, if you can use a plaster, or basically we call a Band-Aid here in the United States, it's as simple as using that. So I've got mine here right now, but basically you can put it anywhere, on your body. But the testimonials are life-changing and very emotional. A lot of times I have a hard time sharing some of these testimonials because we know the people personally, and we've seen how their life has changed. But the one thing we know is it absolutely works. We've had a lot of people say, well, do doctors use this? And if I got a doctor, can I talk to this? But yeah, tons of doctors. I mean, so the one thing is that this is an example of just a couple doctors I'll talk about. This guy here is a plastic surgeon, world renowned, people flying from all over the world to fly in here in Tampa, Florida to meet with the doctor. We got a chance, Ben and I, to meet him personally and talk with him about the different things. And he shared with us, again, the results that he was getting with his patients. When the first time he heard about it, he goes, well, I heard about the wound healing. Well, when they do plastic surgery, there's a period of time that people take to heal. It normally takes 6 to 8 weeks to heal. So figure a month and a half to 2 months for the healing process to be complete. Well, he started using the patch. He started realizing it's actually helping. Now he gives people a 30-day supply, a 1 month supply, 30 patches, 30 days prior to the procedure. Now the healing time is 7 to 10 days on average. So imagine a month and a half to 2 months now taking 7 to 10 days. That's called rapid healing. And he's like, if you want to work with me, you must use this product, which is pretty amazing. Another one said the same thing. So Dr. Leland Stillman, he's on our website. This is it info. It's now the 5th video down. Basically, I tell people all the time, take a look at this video. Listen to him talk about this because he was the same way. He's like, what's this little tiny patch going to do? But he realized it was a form of phototherapy or light therapy. And he's got these red light therapy beds. He's an expert in light therapy. And so he said the red light therapy beds are like high intense light therapy for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, where this is 12 hours a day. It's low level stimulation. He said, I bet it'll work in conjunction with what I'm doing. He was blown away. He said, I've never seen anything like this. He said, if you want to work with me, you must use this product because the results are that significant. So watch that video. Another thing we look at is, once again, we can show thousands of these. But again, day 1, day 42, day 360, basically 1 year later. So you look at the time frame of this. Once again, if you don't notice a difference on this, it'll help with your eyesight too. But how about now? Now do you notice the difference between day 1 and now? These are not Photoshop, these are anything else. You try to do the same kind of smell, same kind of everything. And again, it's been a game changer as far as for people. We've had people that have had challenges and actually accidents that have happened. This guy was actually working in the rafters, fell through the ceiling, broke 6 ribs, punctured his lung. Literally, they said the recovery time of that was going to be a minimum of 6 weeks. And literally, he was back to work within 3 weeks. But look at the date stamp here. Look at June 17th compared to June 30th. That's a 13-day difference. Look at the difference here. I've showed this to doctors. People, they go, that's not normal. I said, yeah, it is when you use X39. It's pretty amazing. We've had other people with skin conditions. Once again, the differences are absolutely amazing. My wife had some skin conditions. By moving from South Africa to Florida, the water is different, the air is different, the humidity, everything else. She started developing all kinds of issues. Guess what? No more issues. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. So all these different things. You think about things like vertigo. I was sharing this with a gentleman yesterday, talking about this, and it's amazing the difference before and after. Within 3 months, nothing happened overnight. A lot of people, it takes a while. So we got another one with one of our friends.
Yeah. So this is a good friend of ours. We met about 6 years ago at our church, and she had told me that she had some issues with her hair. I didn't know how bad it was. And she had tried absolutely everything. It's a condition, it's an autoimmune, and she tried, having steroid injections in the hair, potions, lotions, lots of different things, supplements, and nothing was working. Resorted to wearing wigs and hats, and in Florida in the middle of summer, it's unbearable.
Your thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
She's giving herself a thumbs up.
And so when we found out about the product, and I looked at the website, that was after I was kind of, thought this probably does work, and then I shared it with her, and I said to her, maybe you need to take a look at the website and see, you've tried everything. So she did, and she said, I've got nothing to lose. I might as well try this. And so this is a before and after of her hair, saga. And now she doesn't, those hats and those wigs, no longer. What a blessing. And I had no idea that this would happen. But, we take a chance, and it's not something that's going to be harmful. It enhances the quality of life. We just don't know how it's going to work for the individual. Yeah. But praise God, look at the result for her.
Yeah, she was just over our house on Friday, her and her husband, and it was amazing. I looked at her hair and she looks amazing, absolutely fantastic, radiant. But we have other people that, again, this is just an example. We can never promise anything, but we've had reports from other people, all kinds of ailments. But this is, once again, she calls her husband, sneaky, but she said for the first time after 4 months he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, he's back onto skis. LifeWave patches, and with the grace of God, we live daily in awe of miracles in our lives.
Yeah.
When we got the patches to actually Andre, he was literally in late stages Parkinson's, all kinds of issues. Within 4 days, he started noticing a difference, and it's been a total game changer.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't even ride. He couldn't ride his motorcycle, couldn't drive a car, couldn't do anything else. Now he's living his best life in water skiing. So we can never make any guarantees or promises, but we just know it makes a big difference. So I'm going to share right now a quick video of basically at the end of basically about a 45-minute interview of 4 different doctors. They're kind of summary, just each of them taking about a minute. But listen to this and listen to what other doctors are saying. This is an example, and we have dozens of videos like this of other doctors talking about how they're using it and how it's been a miracle. It's been pretty amazing.
Dr. Dodge, what about you? What makes this special?
I think, really echoing that, this is the most powerful piece of medical technology I've come across in my practice, and that's over 20 years. So I think being able to reverse and see the testimonials of reversal of aging, reversal of disease that are otherwise untreatable or that people and other doctors even give up on. This is new hope. It's new hope in the form of a patch that is so simple to offer if you're a healthcare professional, but you don't even have to be. A friend or a family member can begin to offer this to other friends, family members. So harnessing the power of the stem cells really in your pocket and transforming your life in such a simple but profound way.
It's great. Dr. Stillman?
You know, the funny thing is, I think the most compelling thing that I get every day from this is just the testimonials. And like some of the other doctors have said, it's just such an incredible opportunity for people to be part of the healing process, and for the amount of effort that we've put in as doctors to be able to help people, for you to be able to like walk around with this in the palm of your hand. It's just an incredible, incredible blessing for you all to be able to help people like this, because I can tell you, I know what it's like to get results like we see on the patch in my practice. Without the patch, it's a lot of work and effort, and it isn't just $100 a month. So when people pass this up, who I recommend it to, I just think they're totally nuts. They have no idea what they're missing. So enjoy it. Be glad that you got on board.
Very great. Dr. Fitch?
The best way I can say is that this is the most affordable, sexiest, easiest way to get into the stem cell world. So for as low as $99 a month, you turning your stem cells back on, carrying the sun around in your pocket to just wake your body up is just an amazing ability. Medicine will always be there to save the farm, to save the body from completely crashing, but that's not the state that most of us operate in. Most of us operate in a state of chronic inflammation day by day, and we need some kind of chronic ability to combat and buffer against that. And this is by far one of the easiest and most transparent ways to do it.
Thank you, Dr. Fitch. Dr. Joe, last words.
I just think this is the most remarkable opportunity that's ever come along in my lifetime to this point, for your health, for your finances. You know, if you choose to work it as a business. I got both my boys involved because they're just finishing up their college careers, and I told them this is better than a 401k or a Roth IRA. I've heard you say, Danny, it's like buying stock in Walmart in 1980. I think it's better than that. I think there's no comparison. And for those that are just willing to try it, they're not going to be disappointed, and they're going to quickly want to share it with others. So I share that piece with almost everyone that I introduced the patch to.
Fantastic. That's well said. Appreciate you, Dr. Joe.
Awesome. So again, you can see what other people are saying, and we could go on and on and on, but we're not going to. We're going to talk a little bit more about some other things, but the biggest thing you got to realize, this product works. It's helping people all over the world, and it's great. Right now it's in 80 countries, and they're going to be opening up in actually 10 more countries in Central and South America over the next several months, and so we're very excited about that as well. So the thing is, you can go get more information on thisisitinfo.com. I recommend going there, taking a look at the very first video. It talks a little bit more about our team, about the company. It's a 3-minute video. There's other 3 more short videos, and then Dr. Stillman's the 4th video down. But you can go at the very top, it'll say testimonials. You can click on that, and it shows all the different testimonials and all the people in the different areas and stuff like that. So it's amazing, all the information you can check out.
So at the time that the patch was actually introduced to us, we had no idea that this company LifeWave existed. We found out that it was around 20-year-old company, now open in over 80 countries. And that, you know, we saw the patent earlier. The patent shows that it was registered, illegal products available for distribution in 2020, July 2020. Okay, so at that time, the company was sitting at about 20 million US in revenue, and has since just grown exponentially. where we made over 600 million US 2024. So the company has grown by over 580 million in the last 4 years because of the introduction of this patch. That means something to me. I mean, if we don't see the growth, and that it's just amazing. People are enjoying this, experiencing it, and then sharing it and continuing to share it. And that's what I love about this. And David is saying, David Schmidt, who's the founder and inventor, that we're going to close it over $1 billion US this year. Okay, that's huge.
Yep.
We can participate in that. The other thing I love about this is we say it's not a Me Too product. What do we mean by that? Well, there's so many products out there: hair care, skincare, supplements, weight loss products. So, you know, we support small business owners, friends that we have with skincare and with their hair care, and we buy from them. But, you know, we have an option also to go and get it from the CVS or from the Discount, you know, at a lower price. So there's a wide variety, a lot of competition when it comes to shampoos and supplements and things like that. But when we're sharing out there, sharing this with people, they're leaning forward. They like, what did you say? How this little patch, like, tell me about it. Where do I get it? And how fast can I get it? And what is the cost of that? Because people are so used to hearing that they're paying 10, 30, 40,000 US for stem cell therapy. This is $100 wholesale a month.
Yeah, and I was spending over $400, $500, sometimes $600 a month on all the therapies that I was doing. But I want you to think about something. So think if you know anybody or whoever is connected to companies in Colombia, Panama, Peru, Dominican Republic, Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Chile, Argentina. Those are the 10 new countries that they're going to be opening up very soon. And I was like blown away. So that's the part that's really, really cool. So think about, they're already in 80 countries, so they're about to be in 90 countries very, very soon. It's pretty exciting what's going on. So the part that we always talk about is also LifeWave is the fastest momentum rank company. It means the fastest growing network in the world, and one of the fastest growing companies, going from 20 million to imagine going from 20 million to $1 billion in 5 years. That's kind of where we're at right now. So the reason for that is because, once again, David Schmidt created a product that is absolutely phenomenal. This is actually pictures taken at our very first This Is It convention that we put together. They put together in Tampa, Florida, and we were there. We were sitting right over here somewhere, right? But what was interesting is that Meredith Burkish was just announced as new president. She took other companies to over billions of dollars, and Steve and Gina knew her personally. And Steve and Gina Meredith were part of another company where they basically had an acai juice, and they took that company to over $1 billion. They had over 1 million people on their team. And so the one thing that's interesting about that is they said, we can do the same thing with this, because that company had a product that wasn't patented. Now you can buy it in any store. Acai juice almost anywhere, right? What's interesting about that is that they changed to a weight loss company. They're like, we don't like this idea. I'd say, no, I think you need to lose some weight. You know, it's like, no, they didn't. So for a year, they prayed for the right company, the right product, the right leadership, the right compensation plan, and God's favor. And literally, when they saw this, Steve was actually a professional water skier, what do you call it, barefoot water skier, had 13 different surgeries, had all kinds of issues, was taking handfuls of Excedrin, which is basically like an Advil, Tylenol type thing, every day. And his wife's like, you can't keep on doing this. Well, within a week, he used this patch, and his challenges were gone. His wife's like, this is it. Oh my gosh, this is what we've been praying for. So the name of our team is This Is It Team. That's the reason for This Is It Info, This Is It Team.com, and it's pretty amazing. But they've won the Bravo Growth Award for the past 2 years, which is the fastest growing company in the world as far as from a networking perspective, and it's huge. So we're going to shift real quick and really talk a little bit more about what's important in your life, because we're now going to talk about an opportunity. Because for us, we were necessarily not looking for an opportunity. I told Ken, I said, we'll be a good customer, we'll be whatever. And then we said, okay, you know what? We're all in, because when what's happened to me changed my thought. But after I did all the research, I'm like, oh my goodness, we're going to change people's lives. But for us, the number one thing on there is family. Something that we're very interested in. My wife is from South Africa. Her whole family's in South Africa. So we've had the availability to go back usually once a year, a couple of things like that. But because of freedom, we've been able to go back more, like 2-3 times every year now, which is pretty amazing. She just got back being there for 2 months and going back again in a few months. So what's interesting about that is having time with your family is huge. But the number one word for me was freedom, because I was working a job that literally I could not stand. I can put it that way. I was very good at what I did, but the management team went from a mentorship management to a tour mentorship management. They got to the point they were micromanaging every single moment of every single second. And I got to the point where I'm like going, this is not me at all. I've been independent for many, many years, and now all of a sudden someone's got a leash on you. Like, this is not good. I mean, put a lion on a leash. It's not a good thing, right? So once again, within 14 months, without my wife, with the help of God and with the help of our team, within 14 months, was able to replace my six-figure income. 2 months later, basically, I fired my job. My wife said, you could work there, another year. Now, we don't recommend this. I tell people all the time, it was a toxic environment. And I literally said to the point, I said, she goes, you could work there another year. I said, no, you could go work for these clowns for another year, but actually walked into freedom on January 8th of 2024. Since then, we've quadrupled our income. So if you understand the kind of income that can be made is huge. We do recommend basically banking your check for 6 months minimum before you actually do something like that. So we counsel people on that. But again, people want security. People like to travel. If you like travel, there's a free cruise coming up. We've won 7 free incentive trips. We've won every incentive trip they've promoted to us. And so what we talk about is, once again, helping people with better health. And how about less debt? How about zero debt? How about being totally debt free? Whatever is most important in your life, get back to the person who talked to you about this and share with them. Say, this is what I'm looking for me and my family. And we can help you accomplish it. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And so what happens is that we get people registered. The product itself, a patch comes in. Basically, it's a sleeve of 30 patches, and you actually can buy this retail for $150, which to me, they could sell it for a lot more because there's nothing like it in the world. But they said, we want to make it available to everybody, but we get it at wholesale. So at wholesale, now what happens is we now have 3 different packages we can buy at the wholesale price. So I want to kind of go through this and why would people want to do this? Because this is really the first main way that we make money. There's one way you can make money is you can buy it wholesale, sell it retail, but we really don't do that. We give everybody the wholesale price. Now, when you buy 3, it's like buying 2, getting 1 free. So now you have 3 of them for $295. This is called a core pack. You get 3 sleeves. So 1 for me, 1 for my wife, 1 additional 1 for a family member, or to use between us. That's what happens. But this is really for people who want to just try the product. We recommend, if you want to build a business and make money from this and have freedom, like we've been able to, you want to get at least the advanced or the premium pack. So the advanced is 6-pack. So you get 6 packs of these. So most guys want a 6-pack, right? So you get a 6-pack. So you get 6 sleeves. And because what you do is you lend these to other people, you don't just give them to them. So we got the biggest pack basically at the best price, and we got 20 of these. Now, did we need 20? No, what we needed was basically just 1 for me, 1 for my wife. So we were able to lend this to other people. They call it place and replace. Steve and Gina said, what we'd recommend, don't just give out patches. Don't just hand out a sleeve to people. When someone signs up, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and then give them a sleeve if they're local to you. Say, I'm going to lend you a sleeve, and when yours comes in, you're going to give me one of your new ones back. And it's called place and replace, back and forth and back and forth. And what happened for us personally, we made our money back, our investment, in 2.5 weeks. Now, I can't guarantee that for anybody, but we just talked to a lot of people. And we have people that sign up on the premium pack. We have people sign up on the advanced, and we sign up on the core. So how do we make that money back? Well, when you sign up on the core, you make $35, right? When you sign up on the advanced, you get $75. It's called a PIB, a product introductory bonus. And when you get a premium, you get $405. Now what happened? We signed up several premiums, so advanced, so core. We made that money back our first month. We made almost $3,000 our first month. Since then, we've been able to help people make more than that the very first month. And some people make less. It's all based upon you. And then we set up people on what's considered 2-sleeve subscription. You want to talk about that, why we do that?
Yeah, so the subscription is really important because it keeps you active, and active means that you keep accumulating the points that happen underneath you, because those points actually turn into dollars.
Yeah.
So you never want to find yourself in a place where you go inactive. Make sure that you set your auto ship up for intervals of 30 days at a time, and stay consistent at that. In fact, never ever go off of that. The other thing is, we tell people, why pay for your product when you can actually get your product for free,
right,
and allow us to help you get to that. So there is a way. We've never paid for product. We get our product every single month, and we do not see it as an expense.
No.
This is our initial investment was paid back within its first month. So we're pretty much in the black.
We are
every single
since month
month,
one.
every
Yeah.
single month, and
Yeah.
we're never going to look back. It's just common sense,
Yeah.
If you're making the money, stay on the product, use it. Your every day that you're not on the product, your stem cells are getting sluggish. So so we share with people. We tell them, order ship is what we do. This
Yeah.
is how you're going to win.
Yep.
In this business. The other thing is, I don't know if you mentioned the 30-day money back guarantee.
Yeah.
So, no, there's no risk in any of this.
No.
Just share.
And what's nice about the premium package, the most popular specifically, because they give you enough points that basically you earn and you enroll, they give you 525 points, and then they give you 2 months worth of 110 points, so it keeps you active. So you don't have to buy any product for 90 days. I'm like, well, that was a bonus. I just want as much product as I can get. But people who start today, they're covered for August, September, October. They don't have to buy anything until basically the end of November, which is great. So that's a benefit to that. It's not the same on the advanced and core. You got to basically do this. But if you get one sleeve, you keep your points, but you can only earn up to $100 a week. Imagine earning basically unlimited on the other one. So that's what we recommend. So how we do that, the second way we make money is basically by building a team. And how we build teams, we build a right team and a left team. And by doing this, now what happens, you think about you starting as a brand partner. I always tell people, do you want to pay retail or do you want to pay wholesale? They want to buy it wholesale. So they become a brand partner and you get a wholesale. Now you have the opportunity to share with others. And what we do is get people on Zooms, do three-way calls, do different things, and coach and teach people how to do this. So what happens now, you're like, man, I got my friends, I got my family, I got other people. What happens, say you put your brother here and a sister here, you put a neighbor here and a coworker here. Now you got 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and you become what's known as a manager. And as a manager, you move up the ranks to basically now you can make up to $1,500 per week. Now it doesn't start there. It starts at 100 and 200 and 300, starts growing and growing and growing, but you cap out at $1,500 a week on the binary. Not a bad cap, right? 6,000 a month's not bad. But what happens in reality, this person here is going to say, I want to become a manager. This person says, I want to become a manager. Now you got a manager to the right and a manager left, and you can make up to 2,500. And it goes up and up and up. So you can make up to $25,000 a week. That's capped there, not a bad cap. $1.3 million a year, not a bad cap, right? But what's interesting is how this works is that as a manager, you can make up to 1,500. When you have 2 managers, basically a manager left, manager right, you can make up to 2,500. This is where the game changer happened for us and really opened my eyes when we hit senior director, because we started making over $1,000 a week in residual income. How many people like the idea of $1,000 extra a week coming in, right? That's basically, and so about, if you think about,
I was
18,
calculating that for someone in South Africa this morning. So that would be 72,000 Rand a month.
Yep. So not bad. So think about that for a second. So now, then when we hit executive, this is what set us free. So once again, this was a 6-figure residual income. 6 weeks later, we hit the presidential. Our business doubled. We were at over 50,000 in group volume, went to 100,000 points in group volume in 6 weeks. And then literally last year, basically in October, we hit senior president director, which is the highest rank in the company. We've never had success like this in any company before. And we looked at this and go, oh my gosh, if we can do this, we can help other people do the exact same thing. You can do it. And so now we're helping people do the exact same thing. But again, the part is it just takes a little bit of time, just like anything else. Men got very excited about the last one, which because it's unlimited.
So we heard about the limited earning per week, which was $25,000, capped at $25,000 per week on the binary. And then we found out about the unlimited income potential. This is what really blew my mind because, I often used to dream about making money while I sleep. Well, this is exactly it. You find movers and shakers and, you share with people. They are your first generation. So in this instance, I'm just going to use, for example, we shared with Brendan. He's our first generation. If Brendan is maxing out at $25,000 on the binary per week, we're making 25% of that. So we get a matching bonus. They don't take it out of his check. They just match his check and we get 25% of that. The 6,250 is not a bad deal per week, right?
For one person.
Then Brendan spoke to Christelle, and Christelle, she would be our second generation, Brendan's first generation. Whatever Christelle makes on a weekly basis on the binary, if she's making 25,000 and maxing there on the binary, we're getting 20%. That's $5,000 a week. So 6,250 from Brendan, 5,000 from Christelle. Add it all up, it just is. This is where it's unlimited. Yep. So now Christelle went and shared with Yvette. And Yvette is now third generation to us, second generation to Brendan, and first generation to Christelle. So if you look at that, you are always making every single week you get paid out on what your first generation, second generation, third generation are doing on their binary cycle. And it adds up. It's really... It's that passive residual just happening, even if you're on vacation. And all we are doing is we're blessing people because we're sharing this amazing technology that can change and is changing the trajectory of their lives. Like people who have given up hope and don't want to live. And now they just have this new hope. They're able to face
amazing.
the next morning. So
Yeah.
that is all we are called to do, is to bless others with the fact that we've now been educated about an amazing technology. That's all.
And what's great about this is it meant to use like the maximums. But again, when Brendan makes $100, we make 25.
Yeah.
When we help him make 1,000, we make 250. When we help him make 10,000, we get, so it just adds up and up and up. So no matter what it is, get 25%. And so these numbers add up very, very quickly. But in order to do that and unlock it, you gotta be at least a manager. So that's the first step. We want to help people become a manager, bringing 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and then you can start tapping into the people underneath you and so on and so forth. So again, there's all kinds of things. So the best thing to do is pick a pack that's best for you. The one thing the company does is they are so amazing because they said, even if you sign up as a core pack, you basically can upgrade to advanced pack and just pay the difference in price, and they get the difference in the patches. So if you already got 3, normally you get 6. They're just going to give you 3 more to match the 6, and you pay $240 for the difference. And if you're saying I'm on advanced and I want to upgrade the premium, you just pay the difference in the price and the difference in the patches. So you got 6, they'll give you 14 more for the differential in the price. So it's the most fair program I've ever seen. But our monthly expense, think about this. If you know business owners, ask them how much your monthly expense is. They'll go, it's a lot. Ours is $200.
Yeah.
One for me, one for my wife. That's it. That's it. So it's pretty amazing. So
Even the website, we paid nothing for
no.
the website.
Everything's
and
included. The whole system's
utilize
included.
it. The
Yes.
tools are at our disposal. And so, we've been given something which is an absolute blessing and is generating thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And it's truly is a blessing. But the question is, those of you, these are the websites, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't know that was the next slide.
Yeah.
So we already spoke about this zizinfo.com, which is the website which has everything. It has the patents, it has the testimonies, it explains the product. We share that with doctors and we share it with the stay-at-home mom who's taking care of her children, and no one can purchase off of that site. This is a team.com is another website that Steve and Gina Merritt and all the leaders of This Is a Team have put together. That is the A to Z of how we actually do this. How do we talk to people? It's got scripts there. It's got how to onboard, how to, all the information that you need to share with the person that you're talking to who says, I want to participate in this opportunity. We're not left in the dark. It's like the textbook that you're going to use to understand how to build this and how to build it big. So they've given us all the tools. We just need to plug and play.
Yep.
Plug and play.
And we have a YouTube channel. This is a team YouTube channel. We got a Facebook page. You see all the people that are hitting different ranks that are put on there. It is absolutely fantastic. So we use a school platform that Lily you can use basically. It's a cool kind of school. It's SKOOL, where the This Is a Team information is also on that platform. It's amazing. So all the tools to help you become successful. And really that last bonus was it's a mentorship bonus. So if you like the idea of mentoring people or actually being mentored, that's all part of this program. We're looking for people that we can help and mentor them and coach them and teach them how to become successful. So it's a strategy that we use. And once again, we tell people basically, let's help you bring in a bunch of people. People think it's just 4. Well, imagine Steve and Gina told us at Greg and Mena, we recommend you bring in 20 people right, 20 people left. And that's what we started doing. And again, sometimes it takes a little bit longer for people, but what we do is we talk to 5 people a day. That's it. So I was working a full-time job, running like crazy, actually managing 2 or 3 other companies my wife and I had, and she's running like crazy, doing law practice and all the other stuff that she's doing. And again, we still were able to slip this in, just talk to 5 people a day. And that was it. So that's what we talked to you about. So you want to talk about the Zooms? And
and so everything is at our fingertips. We have Zooms. There are Zooms every single day of the week, different times. So if you cannot make this lunchtime Zoom here in the USA and 7 o'clock South African and Central Europe time, people can tie in at 8 p.m. on a Monday or 10 p.m. And tonight is Sarah and Devin Robinson. They do
awesome.
a great job. For UK, they have 8 p.m. Greenwich Meridian time. It's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard in the US, where whatever time it is where you're at,
Well, it should be 9 o'clock
you
in
can
Europe,
tie
South Africa.
you can tie people in. Okay, Sydney. So for friends in Australia, New Zealand, there's a time slot for them, but it works for us. We can get up at 6 a.m. We had to present one time for them, and
They asked us to,
getting
yeah.
up at 6 a.m. in the morning is not a terrible thing, especially when you've got a team growing running in Australia. Friday, I love Friday because it's just quick. It's a power-packed half an hour. And this last one done by Joe Navarro on Friday.
Amazing.
If you missed it, hey, if you're missing any Zooms and you want to go back and you want to listen because you have a favorite
Go to YouTube.
presenter, go to youtube.com, subscribe to This Is a Team, and you can watch everything that you want to get connected with the team. Be engaged. Saturday's training is always the nuts and bolts. If you say, you know what, I'm sitting I just got started, I want to grow, I want to know how to do this. Saturday's training is for you, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, 7 o'clock South African time, Europe time, and UK also, and Australia. If they get up really early, they can participate. But the thing is, no one misses out because they record everything.
Yes.
So you can go back and watch.
It's best to watch it live. And even this Thursday, they basically have a Spanish Zoom. And again, we have pre-recorded one. So some people can't make it on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We can send them a pre-recorded one that's like 30, 35 minutes long. Spanish training every third Saturday of the month. So again, these are all things that are out there. And there's a lot of other things that you can tie into, like this meeting here. We're going to be here same time next Monday. They do have actually the Next Level convention that just happened. It's actually still available as a recording. So if you go to thisisitconvention.com, you can still purchase the recording from that. We were there in person. Mena was blessed to be on a panel, and we were blessed to be able to speak, at the conference itself, which is pretty
If you
amazing.
did not get the ticket, you can go purchase the virtual ticket.
Correct.
But the recording of it and the replay
Yes.
is out for those of us who were there in person and those of us who already purchased the virtual. You should have the replay
Yes.
in your email, the link. All you do is click on that and you can go and listen in segments
Yep.
to different speakers, take notes, go back. 45 days you have available to listen to it.
Yeah.
And honestly, there was so much information.
Yes.
It
And we're going to be teaching
really-
on that.
It really was an amazing convention.
Yep. And after this meeting, we do a Next Level training. We did that before they even announced the name Next Level for the convention, which is pretty amazing. So again, if you're available for that, let us know and we can get you tied into that meeting as well. But that's for people who really want to build a business and impact people's lives around the world. But really the time is now to make your move. If you're serious about your dreams, we can help you accomplish them. It's not us, it's the whole team that we have that helps you accomplish dreams. So really have hope for your future. We always tell people we're hope dealers, not dope dealers. So get started today. Talk to the person who brought you to the meeting here today and say, I want to get started today. How do I get registered? Because you're going to want to start using this product. It'll be shipped directly to you. And actually, if they're local to you, they might be able to lend you a sleeve and you give one back. But I always tell people, again, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? We've been at places all around the world that have pictures just like this, lounging by the pool, look at the sunset that's going on. But a video is worth 1,000 pictures, right? If you watch a video, it's one thing. Like when I went to South Africa, I literally, before I went, I saw pictures of South Africa. I saw videos of South Africa, but an experience is worth 1,000 videos. How many people know when I went to South Africa, I experienced the culture, the family, the food, everything else. It was totally different than any picture. A picture and video couldn't do it justice. We want you to experience this X39. The best way to start and try this is put the patch on. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee for the next 30 days. Do all the research you want. But once you experience the power of this, you'll say, oh my goodness, I'm so glad the person talked to me about this. Let's go change some more lives. So again, we're so excited to be sharing with you today. We're wrapping up now, but we're going to be starting our other meeting in about 12 minutes. So if you want to get on the training, feel free to do that. And we're going to be launching that in just a few minutes. But again, we always talk about from a standpoint that there's a lot of, there's a lot of uncertainties in today. There's a lot of things going on in the world, whether there's a stock market, challenges going, everything else. But the one thing we know for certain is this is it. So God bless you guys. We'll see you guys later. Invite people if you're getting on the Zoom at 2 o'clock, jump on that, and we'll be able to see you in just a few minutes. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.